Hi everyone, Health Angel here for the VegFit podcast. I've been in a hiatus for the first quarter of the year, a year which happened to be a jubilee year for Catholics with the theme Pilgrims of Hope. This will be the first one in my adult life. The next one will be maybe I'm already a senior citizen, guys. And that's what I did for this first quarter, visiting designated churches for pilgrims with my family. And I call them my OG Marian girls because if I am with them, guys, my life is full of prayers and faith that is very different from my normal environment. So I'm very grateful for that experience, my first quarter of the year experience. So, other than visiting pilgrim churches, we also went for a healing and deliverance. We did it in Tagbilaran, Bohol, because my family are a fan of an exorcist priest named Father Darwin. So this is my first experience receiving healing and deliverance. So when we went there is like a briefing on what to do before the healing and deliverance, which is doing confession. And they also have a guide for confession, which includes if your family, maybe your grandfather or a great grandfather in your someone in your family line that practices uko. That was something that is unique for me on that day. And because my grandfather practices faith healing, I have to confess that. But after the confession, I thought that the healing and deliverance will be just the same as what I see in churches or in TV, right? That they will sprinkle holy water and then there will gonna be prayer. But in this experience, we actually have to do healing and deliverance one by one. And because I was just there, I was just being with my family, right? So this was a different experience. So when I was already there doing the healing and deliverance, I was asked, "Why are you here? What made you come here?" Something like that. It's in a different language. And then I told him that my grandfather is albulario. He's doing some faith healing. And then the next question was, "Are you not a healer?" And then I said, "No, I'm not." So I don't really know, right? I just thought that they were carrying the cross and there will be a lot of prayer. So I just went on with the activity. So he let me drink holy water, he let me drink holy oil, and then he let me pray a passage that was something related to family, generational curses, and something like that. And then I prayed it. The feeling during that time was that while I was reading it, I have a hard time reading the book, and then my leg starts to get jittery. And then when I was looking on my side, the guy was preparing the cross. So what I did was strengthen myself. I raised my voice a little with more conviction in continuing with the prayer. And the next thing I know, it was over. And then I thought it was just a natural thing. But then when we were outside, my mom asked, "Why are other people praying? Why are others like me?" That's my gonna be my mom. We did not pray. So that started a conversation between people in our group. And then one of our friends said that when you are asking for healing and deliverance, but you are denying that you have an occult involvement or any kind of things that is against the church, you would react. Like, for example, there was someone who said that my healing abilities is from Santo Nino. But when he was being held for deliverance, he reacted. He's convulsing and all that. There are many things that are happening there that is like out of the ordinary. That she said that during the time that she went there, some people are cursing the priest, some of them are doing different body positions, some of them are floating, some of them are convulsing. So there are different reactions. That's why they said you cannot lie. So if there is something that you're hiding, you can never lie because you would react. So I'm like, wow, maybe that's why I was asked differently compared to others in there, because the priest that I made confession with and the guy doing my deliverance are two different people, and we were handled differently. So it was a very healing experience. And then there was another thing that I discovered, that the book on Catholic Handbook for Deliverance Prayers, this is from my country, they said that this book should not be given just to anyone, because my aunt bought so many for her friends. She said that the person who should be reading that knows about it, or else there will also be reactions. So since I bought that book a year ago, I was asking, maybe that's why I can never finish reading the book. Like, I wanted to read it because I wanted healing and all that, but whenever I read the book, I have certain reactions that I have headache and all that, so I never get to finish it. So that's probably the reason why. So there are things that are so mysterious to me, but the amazing feeling is that when you're healed, things are different. Okay? Maybe you're not ready for a deliverance or a healing now, but you know, for Catholics, especially during Lent, confession is very important, because, as I've said last year, and I will still say it now, confession is healing for the soul. Because many people would not want to go on a confession saying, I've already prayed about it. But they're also saying, I keep on praying that this feeling will go away. I keep on praying that this feeling would go. I can finally let go and move on from this very negative feeling. But they never take a step in admitting it to another person in the church. So, this person, when you are from a family with healing that is from the occult source, even if you don't practice it, that can be carried on. The gift. They call it the gift. Okay. Your third eye will be open, something like that. And not everyone can handle that, right? Not everyone can handle that gift. And that will leave them lost, leave them scared, and all that. But this healing and deliverance can free you from that, you know, and these activities will contribute to generational curses, even if you're not knowing it. That's why saying it in your confession, going for healing and deliverance, will free you from that. So if you have that courage, go do it. But before you even go there, you're always advised for a confession so that you are already clean and ready for that next level of healing. So now let's talk about confession because after that, I still have to do my Lenten confession because I've already invited my friends over because whenever some of my friends have problems, my always go to advice is that you go to church, you pray this, and then please do a confession. So, since my friends are having some trouble and it's Lent, so I invited them over. So, I have to do my second round of confession, which is not really bad because some archdioceses even encourage a weekly confession. So I went at a confession, another church, and I'm gonna share to you this another confession guide, just a bit different from what we were briefed during our experience at the Office of Healing and Exorcism in Tagbilaran City. In this confession guide, the things they have listed about 54 sins that should be confessed, like the apostasy and baptism in non Catholic religion, superstitious belief, New Age practices, spiritism, psychic healing, consulting healers, no baptism, using the Lord's name in vain, missing to participate in Holy Mass on Sundays, doing unnecessary works on Sundays, not praying every day, receiving communion in a state of mortal sin, dishonoring parents, abortion, suicide, drug using, harming your body and other people, adultery, premarital sex, living in concubinage, rape, sexual harassment, divorce, homosexuality, incest, using contraceptive methods, pornography, lustful desires, masturbation, immodesty of dress and behavior, stealing, corruption, unfair wages to employees, excessive usury, serious gambling, vote buying and selling DVDs, pirated CDs, DVDs, and video games. Wow. Deception, despair, unforgiveness, revenge, encouraging others to do evil, false judgment, cursing, telling lies, backbiting and gossip, saying bad words, even the words that you think are just normal but actually hurtful. I just realized saying calling someone crazy is you really have to include that, guys. Ingratitude, neglect to fast and abstain on holy days, pride, greed, envy, gluttony, excessive drinking, smoking, hatred, anger, and including laziness. Yes, being lazy and procrastination is a sin. So these are new things for me because it makes confession easier, but you also have to question, wow, I never thought that they were a sin until I read this guide. But one thing that I really appreciate on this confession now was that the priest gave me a very beautiful short prayer. It's called the surrender prayer. And you just have to say, "Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything." So you are given a guide. You can say it in a day, or you can say it for 9 days. And I did it for 9 days. And reading one phrase per day before I sleep really helped me a lot. For me, it's the difference when you're just praying and then asking for your problems to go away compared to going to a priest, going on a confession, and be given a solution or maybe a guide. to help you with what you're going through. So I'm gonna share to you just one phrase because I'm gonna share this on the screen, and I really hope that you will be able to read it. All of these phrases touch my soul every day, but this one really hits me hard, especially with what happened in the first quarter of my life. Went on a pause. So this phrase really hit me hard. And when I must lead you on a different path, and when I must lead you on a path different from the one you see, I will prepare you. I will carry you in my arms. I will let you find yourself like children who have fallen asleep in their mother's arm on the other bank of the river. What troubles you and what hurts you immensely are your reason, your thoughts, your worry, and your desire at all costs to deal with what afflicts you. Oh Jesus, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. So if you are in that troubled position right now, that you're wondering, Lord, why is this happening to me? Why is this happening to my life right now? That message in itself, just one phrase, will be enough to make you feel better. And imagine that this prayer has 9 phrases, very short, very direct. And you just have to say this with more conviction that I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. So if you're carrying something heavy right now, be it a sin, be it a despair, many people feel this, even me. If you feel so lost, just say, I surrender myself to you. Take care of everything. Go for that Lenten confession. Go for a Lenten reflection. Be brave and be free from the burdens that are lurking inside your heart. I hope that I was able to help you with what you're feeling today. Thank you for listening and see you again for our next episode. Goodbye and God bless. Bye.